Hello, I'm Citrus, and today we're talking about proxies. This video is sponsored by Buyee. You can check the description and the pinned comment for links to save some money on your next order through their shopping service. Every once in a while, especially in a video of like an old kid or something like that, I'll get a question like, where did you get this? And sometimes the answer to that question is proxies. Well, what are they? They're basically services that help you buy things that aren't available in your country. Buyee is more or less a full service proxy where you give them a link to an item that you want to buy, pay them a service fee, and then they'll buy that item for you, receive it, pack it up, and then ship it to you. Another level are forwarding services. Tenso, the company that owns Buyee, is a forwarding service. You pay them a fee in order to have the use of a Japanese address. And when you want to get something, you go to the store directly, you fill in your own information, a domestic payment method, the address that you get from the forwarding service, and then the store will ship it to the forwarding service, and the rest of it is basically the same as a regular proxy where they will consolidate your items and then pack them up and ship them to you. Forwarding services have fallen out of favor in the last several years because they're generally harder to use. You have to have a lot of more understanding of how things work locally in the country that you're buying from. And generally, the prices of full service proxies are low enough that it's just easier for most people to use a full service proxy instead. Now, what might you want to use proxies for? I have some examples for you guys. My wife is into stationery. She writes a lot and she sends letters and journals. So for example, this is a glass fountain pen that she bought from Gurry Drops that was available only in Japan. Another one is this Semezu date stamp. This was available exclusively through Japan Post. You can turn the wheels up here to change the number that is displayed down here, and you just put it on an ink pad and then stamp it on your journal entry, your letter, packages, or whatever you have going out. These were pretty common around the world, pretty much everywhere, but I think they fell out of use within the last 20 years or so when things became progressively more digitized and, the advent of digital label makers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty neat. And Japan Post makes like crossover kind of stationery pieces like this pretty much all the time. As for my interests, I play GOAT format Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've used proxies before to buy Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Very often you can get cards that look really cool and for not a lot of money because, Japanese card prices just tend to be lower in general. These brain controls look really nice with the Altamira printing. And this set of Thunder Dragons, for example, and this is Series 1 original because it just says Kazuki Takahashi and Shueisha down there. This set, I think, was probably less than $3 all in, including the fee, since I bought a bunch of cards in bulk. But if you try to find even like common metal raiders for Thunder Dragons, you'll have an idea of how expensive those are. So it was really cool for me to be able to find like a super old print of a really commonly used card, and I love just how the classic layout looks. I'm also into the relatively lower end of die-cast cars. So this is a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive Skyline GTR set. So there you go, the R32, R33, and R34. Yeah. If you have exclusive cars that you like, you can use proxies to help you get them. Of course, we're mostly here for gunpla. One of my most recent pickups is the Giradoga Heavy Arm type. This was released in January 2026, exclusively at the Gundam Side F attraction at Gundam Base Fukuoka. So this was available for sale only at that physical location. And I picked this up on a Mercari JP listing. And after the proxy fee, shipping, and everything like that, the total that I paid was about $42, which is pretty good. The US Premium Bandai store opening in 2020 did help availability of some exclusives, but not everything comes here. And when they do, they don't necessarily come on time or even with any kind of consistent price. So if we just look at all the Giradoga products that have been listed here before, you can see that the heavy arm type, even though it's been out for 6 months now, it never made it over here to the US site. And you can also see here that, like, for example, the Axis Shock image color kit, the prices went from 32 to 23 to 21, and that these are sorted by latest deadline. But like even weirder stuff has happened before, where like the MG Resin Snyder Gyrodoga was $50 most recently, but before there was a shipment that sold for $62. And same here with the Psycho Doga, where it was $40, and then one time before was $49. So it's just a really weird, inconsistent experience. For someone like me, I don't like having to prowl the US website and fight with all the scalpers and bots that buy out everything here. I also don't like having to constantly make sure I'm checking all the secondhand sites to make sure a new listing pops up. So I prefer to have the peace of mind of being able to find the item I want and then just paying a shopping service to get it for me so that I know I have it. We're going to go through the process of buying something with Buyee. Today I want to get something that's interesting and not too big from a series I like. And next up is research. So we're on MFC now, and I'm going to type in Dendrobium. I like this one, and I'll talk about this item more when it gets here. From here, or whatever database or review you're looking at, after you get all of the release information and the different versions of the item, we figure out exactly what we want, and then we start hunting. It's a good idea to have its Japanese name wherever possible, since machine translations aren't always the best. In this case, I've done a little bit of the pre-work already, so we're going to go to Rakuma, which is basically like Mercari but owned by Rakuten. And I'm going to paste the Japanese name of the item, and luckily the first item is actually the one that we're going to pick up. I open it up, I look through the pictures, I check the description to make sure that it makes sense, along with the price. This all looks good to me, so now we buy. Buyee has a browser extension that already works with a bunch of Japanese retailers that make it super easy for you to add the item to your cart and basically check out straight from there. Once you've made sure all your payment details and everything are correct, you hit buy and we wait. Usually within a couple of minutes or so, Buyee will tell you if they were able to buy the item or not. They buy it, and then you wait some more until Buyee receives the item from the seller. You then assemble the package of all of the items you've ordered, choose a shipping method, and then Buyee sends it to you. And after a few more days or weeks of waiting, you'll receive your package. So this is pretty interesting because Buyee decided to pack this with, well, instead of one box, it's made out of, it looks like at least 3 boxes. But it feels pretty sturdy. I haven't opened this yet, obviously. I picked the correct side to start from. Yay! Alright, I think with this last cut here, we can open the whole thing. Oh, almost. Alright, let me get this out of the box so we can look at it properly. And here it is. Our Gundam collection, 1/400 scale painted model Gundam GP03 versus Noizil Stardust Memory final stage. Whole process for me was super smooth. Basically, no problems at all. Finding the item, buying it, receiving it, packing it all up, and as you can see, it arrived to me in relatively good shape. So hopefully, having seen this, you'll be able to use Buyee to add something cool to your collection as well. And remember, you can use the links in the description and the pinned comment in order to save a little bit of money on your next order. I'll be back with a review of this kit pretty soon. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.